Hey everybody, it's Kate Peters. I thought third time was a charm. This is the fourth. So let's see if this either works or else I'm going to just do it another time because for whatever reason, if I get this many shots where it normally works and it doesn't, there's something going on. So if you're still there, first of all, I so totally appreciate your patience. Oh, I got a heart from Cheryl, so yay, that means it's working. Woohoo! Isn't it kind of funny technology? It's like, when it works, it's awesome. It's kind of like the refrigerator or your car. When it's working, it's great, and then when it doesn't work, you're just like sit there and it just makes you really appreciate everything. Especially, I had everything down to a system. I finally got everything done. I knew what to do because I usually do it through a special software on my laptop, and I figured it out where I don't need to look at the instructions anymore, and I was so proud of myself. And then that software didn't work today, so everything's kind of a little goofy. So anyways, hello everybody, happy Friday. Say hi to me if you're here, let me know who's there, let me know where you're from, and all that. I've got some really cool content I've been wanting to share with you, and so that's why I'm here right now. I can pretend I've got my feet up. I really don't, but I can pretend. And I'm in Boston right now, and it's cold. It's crazy weather. When last week we had like 98, 99 degrees. Today you can see I've got a sweater on. It's wacky. But I will promise you, for those of you coming to my event in June, the weather will be gorgeous. It's always gorgeous that time of year. That's why everyone has their weddings that time of year. It's just beautiful. And I just kind of have this vision of you guys all outside, like walking and sharing and all sorts of really cool things, because it's just so beautiful in June. So anyways, I promise you that it's not going to be sweater weather, and I highly doubt it'll be 99 degrees. So anyways, I've got a really cool also, did I say happy Friday? Oh, happy Monday. I guess this is like a backwards day. Thank you, Cheryl, for that catch. It's that kind of a day. So anyways, I've got something really cool I want to share with you. Hi, Stephanie. How are you? Maybe I don't have water in here. Maybe I actually have something to drink. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. My brain is a little wacky today. But anyways, I've got something really cool I want to share with all of you about sales conversations, and so I'm excited. I'm sharing it kind of because I think it's important to know. And Stephanie, happy Monday. See, I know what the day of the week it is. Thank you, Cheryl. Hey, Lou, how are you? Hope Italy was wonderful. Did you bring me back any presents? That would be really nice. Something Italian, maybe. So anyways, I really want to talk to you today because I go, as a lot of you guys know, I go to a lot of networking events. I go to a lot of events, all sorts of things. Talk to entrepreneurs, all different levels. And the thing I hear over and over again from people is that they want more consistent income. I mean, no matter what level you're at, you want it, right? And it's partly, for so many of us, we did come out of, a job or corporate or something where we're used to that paycheck. And this fluctuation of the income can drive people crazy. And so, and also you want to know kind of what kind of money you've coming in, so you can plan, so you can sit there and make plans for your vacation, so you can, know whether you can hire another team member, or whether you can, buy your child sneakers, whatever. You want to know you've got that money coming in. And instead what I see is entrepreneurs kind of doing all sorts of really wacky, crazy stuff because of the bright, shiny object syndrome, BSOS. It's just like all over the place. And truthfully, it's hard. I don't blame anybody. It's hard when you see all these things and it looks cool and sexy to do this thing and do that thing and all that. And I get it. Problem is that those things are not bringing you the results you want when you need them. So I want to talk about how to actually have that happen more often, and talk to you regarding sales conversations. And I have a list here of how many things do I have. I have top 10 ways that you can do this without having sales conversations. And actually I'm saying it kind of tongue in cheek, because truthfully you really need to master sales conversations. In fact, I think every single course out there, whether it's a certification or whatever, I think people need to be taught how to do this, because I think that would have so many people, instead of the rate for so many entrepreneurs failing, I think it would just really help invert it. So a lot of you guys would probably wish I could just like wave that magic wand and say, okay, no more sales conversations, and that'd be really cool. But the truth is that you have to understand it. You have to learn how to use it in your business. And some of you have heard me talk about this before, and it's just because it has me on a rampage. I saw this ad on Facebook, somebody, and I've seen so many of them, promoting their product, and it's like, hey, you don't need to have sales conversations, you don't need to know how to network, none of this stuff, and said you're gonna like make all sorts of money doing this, and and that's the whole premise. That's what the Facebook ad says, like no more sales conversations. That's what the video says, no more sales conversations. And truthfully, it's a bunch of BS, because on her third or fourth lesson, there were sales conversations. And I bought it because I was interested in the topic. I mean, obviously I love sales conversations, and I was kind of curious as a side note, well, how is she teaching this without sales conversations? And it always comes down to, you always still need to know how to have sales conversations. But I want to teach you the top 10 ways that people avoid, and maybe some of them will start ringing a bell for you. So I'm saying this to you, I'm sharing this really cool information. We're going to have some fun, a little bit of fun with it too, because you got to have fun, got to lighten up as you're going through your business. So the number 10, and this is kind of based on, if those of you who ever watched David Letterman, I know he's off the air now, but he was on for like 10 zillion years, and he always had his top 10, okay? So I'm starting at the top 10, and we're going to start with number 10, and this is a common way that entrepreneurs can avoid sales conversations, and it's to get more certifications, right? I mean, who hasn't done that? I'm raising my hand. I've done it. I have all sorts of high-level tapping certifications, and this certification and that certification that I did, early on in my business. So many people do it. And I remember when I was hosting a monthly online group, like my first year or so of business, and when people saw they weren't making money, what they would tell me is, they were in the group, was, okay, now I'm going to leave, now I'm going to go get a Reiki certification, or now I'm going to go get this, now I'm going to go get that. And I'm not saying those things are bad, but that's what people tend to do, is because most of us, we like to learn, right? I mean, I'm an avid learner. I'm guessing you're probably an avid learner. And so the idea of a certification really, really appeals. And if you've ever done that, do me a favor, do a like or do a heart or something. I know I'm not alone in the room here. I know lots and lots of other people have done that. And the problem is with the certifications, again, not saying it's a bad thing to do. So please understand, everything I list here, not saying they're bad. It's understanding the time and place when to do it. So the certification is, like I'll give you an example. One of my clients a couple of years ago, she loved how I used tapping with her. And she's like, Kate, I'm going to go get a tapping certification. And I was like, well, why? And she goes, well, because I love how you do it with me. It'd be so cool to do it with my clients. And I'm like, yeah, but, and I kind of pulled her through the process, like, how is this really going to help your bottom line? Because that's what she really wanted to do. She wanted to make more money. And how's that really going to help her? And also, too, it uses up a lot of her resources, her time, her energy, because, to get her for certification, anything that's worth its weight, you are going to have some studying. You're probably going to have some practicum or something, that you're going to have to keep doing. And that pulls you away from bringing more clients in. So it's kind of an avoidance technique. So if you've ever done that, I'd love to see a like or a heart or something, because, again, I know most of you guys do that. Number 9 is to be an online surfer, okay? And again, these are all things I'm listing that I've been guilty of too, right? And this is where you sit there and you're always looking online, right? You say, what's this one doing? What's this one doing? What's this one doing? And you get so caught up, because I know with me personally, when it's happened to me or my clients tell me, is we get so caught up with everything else going on, and we see this one doing this and this one doing that, or this one's offering this one's offering that. Problem is that we don't really know the premise of this. We don't really know a lot of the backstory, and we don't really pay attention to how that would affect with us and where our vision is for right then and there. So the thing is that what I find too, which is kind of, I've had a lot of my clients say this to me, and I know, I've seen it too for myself too, because it does sometimes, if you're in that kind of mood, it really creates a lot of envy, right? Because you're looking, oh, this one just made $1 million, oh, this one's doing this, oh, this one's doing that, oh, this one in 5 minutes got, $1 million. I love these stories where it's like, I was living out of my car's about to be repossessed, I didn't even have enough money to buy water to drink, and I was eating sand for meals, and then all of a sudden, boom, I just figured out the magic formula. Within 24 hours, I had $1 million, and behind me is my big, massive estate you now see, which overlooks the water, and my 3 Rolls Royces in black, white, and gold all behind me, right? And you see all that stuff, and it makes people crazy. So that's number 2. That's number 9, rather. Number 8 is getting JV partners. And first of all, I want to preface that JV partners are awesome. They really, really are. But understand, because I love mine, I appreciate mine more than they know, but understand that you still have to have sales conversations with people, when you're getting, because with a JV partner, first of all, you have to make the person understand it's worthwhile to them to be your partner, because especially nowadays, people are really, really cautious about their lists, and they're really protective of their lists. So you really have to have a really solid sales conversation for somebody to agree and to be willing to say, yes, I am willing to send out to my list for you because I believe in what you're offering. For most people nowadays, it isn't so much even about the money. It's because they want to make sure, they want to feel fully engaged and make sure that it's going to be a benefit to their list. So you have to have the sales conversation then, and then the second part is that then when people come from their list to you, you then have to have another conversation again because they don't really know you. You're virtual strangers, and you have to win them over really quickly. Again, another sales conversation. Now, years ago, this was an amazing thing because when it was so new, it was like, hey, want to promote for me? I'll promote for you, and boom. You know, it worked like magic, right? It was really, really fast, very spontaneous. But nowadays, there's so much out there and so many people doing things, and they've got the bigger launches and this and that, that unfortunately, it doesn't have the same results as it used to have, even just a matter of a couple of years ago. It's really, really changing. So understand, again, JV partners are great, but understand that that's just in addition to. So all these things I'm mentioning are great in addition to, okay? Because if you just rely on JV partners, you're going to be sadly disappointed. So if any of this stuff is resonating, hopefully most of it's resonating, please do a like or heart or something. Now, number 7 is to write a book. I've got a book. So again, I think writing books is great. I've got a lot of friends who are book writing coaches. I've got friends who help people promote their books. All that stuff is great. However, it's understanding when to write the book, okay? Because to write a decent book is going to take you some time. I'm not saying you're writing next, bestseller, but it is going to take some time. So you want to make sure that you're doing it in the right way, that it's about the right topic, and then understand that a book is really just a calling card. It's just a marketing material. Again, you still need to have that sales conversation with somebody because that's just bringing them into your community. Writing the book is really just letting people know a little bit more about who you are, creating a little bit more know, like, and trust, but ultimately you still need to have that conversation for them to say, yes, I want to buy your product, yes, I want to be in your program, yes, I want to work with you, or whatever you are offering. And if anyone has any questions as I'm going through, I am periodically checking over at my other screen to see if anything's popping up. So let me know. And again, if you're just joining us, please do like or heart or something. Let me know this is resonating. I just think this is so important because I see so many people out there. Our time as entrepreneurs is so valuable. Gosh, it's our most valuable commodity. And when I see people going off on these tangents, I want to just go like, come on, let me pull you back in. Let's get you to focus on what's important. Let's get you that revenue you're looking for. Then go do all this stuff. Let them be enhancements. Let them be in addition to then bring you additional income, additional clients, right? You've got to have this foundational stuff. So number 6, so let me read you the first few. So number 10, because I'm showing the top 10 ways to avoid sales conversations. Number 10 is to get more certifications. And again, I've done all these things, so I'm not saying these are bad things. I'm saying they're all good things to do in addition. So beginning my business, got lots of certifications, right? But what I see a lot of people doing is it becomes an avoidant tactic to actually learning, to actually being able to have that conversation with somebody. Number 9, being an online surfer. And the reason that I think that's personally a problem is I think it plays hell with your emotions because it's so easy to get, Facebook envy. You see what other people are doing. You don't really know their background. You don't really know the story. And you try to see what can you pull in. You don't have all the facts. And it just ends up, I think, quite often can pull you into a tizzy as opposed to keeping you straightforward to going to where you want to go. Number 8 is getting JV partners. I love my JV partners. I've had some that have been my JV partners for 6 years since I first started having JV partners. The thing is that it used to be quite easy that you would get somebody a JV partner, and it was pretty simple, right? Like, hey, promote for me, I'll promote for you, boom, done. But nowadays, there's so many options, there's so much out there, people are super protective of their lists, that it's a lot more complicated, and that means you do have to have a sales conversation with somebody to get them to agree to be your JV partner, because they don't want to risk their list, they don't want to piss people off, they don't want a lot of opt-outs. So you've got to have a really, really solid sales conversation, know how to do that. And then once they do agree to do it and their people come onto your list, you then have to work even harder because they hardly know you to really get them to understand you and like you. So that's twice as many sales conversations you've got to have. Number 7 is to write a book. Again, I wrote a book. It's a bestseller. It's awesome. But I think there's a time and place to write a book. And where books take a lot of time, energy, money to get done, that I highly recommend. Yes, books are awesome. I think everyone should have a book. But do it at the right time in the right place, because otherwise it can just totally take you off path. You may turn around and go, shoot, I got this book done, but I don't have any money. I don't have any clients, and understand that. So number 6 is to become a speaker. And again, love speaking. I speak on main stages all across North America. I think it's awesome. Again, you have to learn how to have sales conversations. And the truth is, if you can't have a sales conversation with one-on-one, there's no way in hell you can have a sales conversation from the stage. I'm just telling you honestly, you've got to learn how to do that. And so when you master sales conversations, then whether it's from a stage, whether it's on a webinar, whether it's through writing, whatever, you have to still understand the basics of it. And there's no way on earth you're going to be able to monetize that. And I'm lucky. I get invited to speak to a lot of stages where either I'm invited, or else I get paid. But there's a lot of speaking gigs that we've all had to pay for. So if you don't know how to sell and you're paying to speak, plus paying to travel, plus paying for the hotel, plus paying for maybe another team member to be there with you, plus paying for the resources, you're out a pile of money. You damn well better know how to sell, or you're never going to recoup your investment. And typically you want to make back 3 times as much money. So if you paid, let's say, $3,000, which is not a lot, to go speak on someone's stage, very often it can be 15, 20, 25 and higher. But if you paid $3,000, you want to be able to know you can make back $9,000. You have to know how to have a sales conversation. You have to, or else you're just pissing your money away. It's gone. Okay, and again, I know a lot of times we're not paying for speaking. I've been lucky the last gigs I've been doing, I haven't had to pay, and the ones I've got coming up I haven't had to. But I know in the past I had, and I've got to be able to make back that investment. Otherwise, what's the point of doing it? Take a sip of water, and if this is resonating, please click like or heart or something. Let me know you're there. If you've got any questions, I'm periodically checking over. I just can't stress enough how important this is. All you guys are wanting to bring in consistent income, and this is really the magic bullet. Sales conversations, you don't need a big list for it. You don't need a big team for it. You don't need a lot of resources for it. It's just really just learning how to have a sales conversation with somebody. And that's what I love to teach. I'm teaching it in my event next month, Conversations to Clients Live. And I'm teaching everybody exactly what you say, but then having them have it become their words, not my words. So it becomes very authentic. They're very comfortable with it. We're talking about how to overcome objections. And we're also going to deal with all the internal stuff, their beliefs around sales, beliefs around their mindset around money, because you can't ask for a lot of money if you've got a huge money story. That's why people tend to play small and tend to give it away, do trades, do discounts, right? So we're going to be talking about all that. So let's see. So far we've got number 10, get more certifications. Number 9, be an online surfer. Number 7, write a book. Number 6, become a speaker. Number 5 is be interviewed. Okay, and actually, being interviewed is kind of cool. I mean, nowadays, so I'm just refreshing this. Nowadays, it's people got radio shows, they've got podcasts, they've got Facebook Live, Zoom. I mean, a million different ways to be interviewed. And the thing is I remember when I first started my business, I actually had a radio show at a real radio station. I mean, there was a producer. He pointed at me. The mic would go red. There'd be commercials in it. It was very, very cool. But again, radio being interviewed is great. The problem is that it's really just bringing people into your funnel. Okay, so which is great because you're bringing more people into community, more people are getting to know you. But it's pretty rare from an interview that somebody's just going to sit there and say, yes, I want to sign up for your program. I want to buy your product. It just brings them in. They go, I like what Kate had to say. I like what Susie had to say. I like what this one had to say. And, they come onto your list and they get to know you. So you still, it's just another way of bringing people in. You still have to have that sales conversation with people. And again, for anybody who's just recently joined, if you've got a question, let me know, and I'll be periodically checking over here. So that was number 5, to be interviewed. And again, being interviewed is fun because we all love to talk about our work, right? I mean, how much fun is it? Someone says like, and what do you think? And tell us how you got started and share one of your stories about your clients. And we love that. We love to share. We love to get our message out. We love to talk about ourselves, right? And it's great, but again, it's still just another piece of the process. You still ultimately have to have sales conversations. So number 4 is to hire someone to sell for you. Now this is a great idea, right? You know, you hire someone who's professional at selling. Say, here you go. You know, here's my product. You know, go pick up the phone, go sell for me. And that would be awesome if it worked that way, right? Thing is that it really doesn't, because if you hire anybody who is a good salesperson or really great salesperson, someone who's more likely to get more yeses. First of all, they're very expensive, okay? Which means that you're giving them a bigger piece of your profit. And that's one thing. The other thing, too, is that if they're really good, they are going to expect you to have a really great system in place, a really great funnel, because they want to make it easy. They don't want to work hard. They want to know you've got everything in place, and they just have to like kind of snap themselves in. So that means you have to, if you've got that, that means you've got to be pretty far along to tempt somebody who's very good at sales to want to work for you. The other thing too is that if you hire people, say like, oh yeah, I know how to sell, and you bring them on, that they have to understand your way of selling, because the last thing you want is that you want someone making false promises to say, oh yeah, you know, Susie will absolutely do that for you, or yes, this course absolutely does that. You know, otherwise, then there's a disconnect, and the person who buys the product can end up getting disappointed or hurt or upset, and creates a lot of bad will for you, and you don't want that happening. So the way I always share with my clients when they ask about it, because some of my clients have hired salespeople, and again, I've got no issue with it, but I want them to know first, because then they can teach their salespeople how they want to sell in their style. And then when they do that, A, they get more yeses, and B, then the client's much happier during the enrollment process. Otherwise, there's a big disconnect, because the person just feels like somebody's on the phone or somebody's talking to them and just selling at them. And you don't want that to happen. Just take a sip here. So if anyone has any questions about any of this or sales conversations, please go ahead and post, and I'm periodically checking here. I'm happy to answer your questions. Let me just refresh and see. So if you do have anything, and again, let me know who's here. Do a like or share or something, heart. So let's see. So that was number 4. So number 3 is you know, you plan on you're going to master sales in the future. Okay, it's like, okay, you know, you kind of pick this random date, you know, mind. It's kind of like the person who says like, yeah, you know, when I lose weight, then I'll go to the beach, or when I do this, this will happen, or whenever. And let's be honest, that doesn't really happen. And the thing is that you've got to be committed to this. And understand, it's like you've got to take the stand in a sales conversation for you and for this person or people or company or whomever, that this thing has to happen. And so when you delay, it's actually holding you back, okay? And so you want to think about, what are you really waiting for? And if you've got some stuff around, and you know, typically when people are saying they're waiting, it's because maybe sales makes them uncomfortable. And I get it, because nobody's really ever taught that. It's certainly not taught in school. It's not taught in college. It's not taught in graduate school. You know, I see it now in corporate. I used to work with a lot of law firms and VC firms and colleges, like the bigger ones in Boston. And the top law firms were telling me that, you know, it used to be that they'd hire somebody and, you know, the person passed their bar, they get a job with this exclusive, you know, Boston law firm, because that's a cool thing to have happen. And then they were, you know, that was like the be-all and end-all. And now they get hired and they're saying, you know, you got to go bring your own clients. And these people are freaking out because they don't know how to get clients. They just don't. They were never taught how to do that. So what I really believe is that it's really about getting personal responsibility and making this important, making it a mission to learn how to do that. So number 2 is offering discounts, trades, or giving it away. And this is something I was the queen of in the beginning, although I found that I've shared my my kingdom with lots and lots of people, because again, if you've done discounts or trades or giving it away, please do a like or a heart or something, because I have yet to meet an entrepreneur who didn't do that in the very beginning. You know, we all do. And what the difference is learning to get past that. In the beginning, here I had done sales for a big, huge Fortune 500 company, and I basically had lists. Sorry, Callie, you hear Callie? She's crying. I shouldn't laugh. The poor thing's been so sick. She's been to like 5 vet visits this past week. And luckily, ultrasound came back. Ultrasound is clean, but she's over there whining a little bit, so I'll have to give her some love in a couple minutes. So discounts and trades and all that, so here, when I've been in corporate, I basically was a list of nothing that I basically had to turn into something. And that was really quite difficult because, I wasn't given anything and I had to turn into multi-million-dollar deals. I learned how, and I guess, I got very comfortable with it. But when you have your own business, it's a whole lot different to sell someone else's widgets than to sell yourself. And we all take it personally when someone says no to us. It's personal rejection. Whereas if somebody doesn't want to buy my bottle of Poland Springs or Crystal Geyser, whatever water I'm selling, I don't take it personally. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But when they say no to me, we all take it personally. And that's why we do trades and discounts. And I found that I've seen with a lot of clients I've worked with is that the way they avoid mastering sales conversations is that they just end up giving it away or doing discounts. The problem is that they end up ultimately having no money, right? Or they don't have as much money as they want. And that's on a financial basis, but also what happens too is on a personal level, it really starts eroding your self-esteem when you feel the only way someone will work with you is if you give it away or offer a discount, right? So just think about that, because that's really, really critical to be aware of and to understand. So that is number 2. And number 1 is, and I was saying this kind of tongue-in-cheek, it's like declare you don't care about money, right? And don't have any sales conversations, This is for the healers of the world. Money doesn't matter. I'm just here to heal the world, I'm a tapping practitioner. I know I'm here to do what I got to do. And a lot of people out there say, money doesn't matter. I just want to help everybody get over their this syndrome or that syndrome or this thing or that thing or whatever. And the money doesn't matter at all. So if that's the case, yeah, you absolutely can avoid sales conversations. Problem is that if you actually learned how to master it, you'd have a whole lot more money to either A, get yourself out in a bigger way, B, maybe do some charitable things or start a nonprofit for your cause, or C, give away money. There'll be all sorts of things. So those are the top 10 I have, and let me just see if there's any questions, and I'm just going to read them real quick again before I go. So number 10 is get more certification. Actually, before I do, I just want to invite everybody. My event where I'm diving in really deep to sales conversations, and this is not your typical sales training. That's yucky, that's boring, that's bleh. This is really just teaching you I'm teaching you exactly what to say, and then having you turn into your own words so you're very, very comfortable with what to say. I'm basically giving you my script. It's brought me in a pile of money each and every year, teaching you how to overcome objections. And I'm also going to be teaching you how to deal with all your own internal crap. Stuff about not believing you're worth that much money, wondering if you can help that person, your fear they won't work with you unless you give it away, you're worried about being rejected, all that kind of stuff. That's what we're dealing. 2 days. It's going to be extremely powerful. You're going to get the structure, the strategies, the mindset. It's all transformational. I have never done another event like this. I'm so super excited. And when we're full, we're full. So grab your seat. It's conversations2clientslive.com. Conversations2clientslive.com. I will share with you, and I've been to a lot of events. I don't know any that offer this kind of experience, and I'm super excited about it for you. So again, conversations2clientslive.com. Grab your ticket before we're full. And I'm going to just read you the top 10 again. So 10 is get more certifications. Number 9, be an online surfer. 8, get JV partners. 7, write a book. 6, become a speaker. 5, be interviewed. Number 4 is hire someone to sell for you. Number 3 is plan on mastering sales in the future, the good old avoidance technique. Number 2, offer discounts, trades, or give it away. I was the queen of that in the beginning of my business. And number 1, for all you healers and helpers and all that, declare you don't care about money and don't have any sales conversations. But if that's not who you are, you really want to learn how to bring consistent income in, learn how to have your consistent income accelerate, be in charge of your income, right? Instead of all this other stuff that's costing you an arm and a leg and uses up all your resources. Do all that stuff after you master sales conversations, because then you have the money to pay for all that stuff. Join me at conversationstoclientslive.com, conversationstoclientslive.com. Register before we're full. And if you have any questions, just reach out. We're happy to answer any questions for you. So on that note, I'm going to go give my cute little Callie some dinner, and I wish everybody a really wonderful evening. Bye now.